So, let us write down the formulas for the jth component of x, that is, so xj is nothing but you replace jth column by the column B. So, that means determinant of, so I will write in terms of the standard determinant function, determinant of, do not change. Now, I cannot use, I will use C1, C2, Cn for the columns of A. So, C1, Cj minus 1 and then B the vector on the right side, Cj plus 1 Cn. So, remember here C1 to Cn are columns of the coefficient matrix A. This is determinant of that and divided by determinant of A. Determinant of A. I could have also written this as delta E of C1 to Cn. Where delta is the standard determinant function. So, how do you verify this? This is very easy to verify. So, proof, I will use the fact that the inverse of the matrix, we know A is invertible, that is our assumption. So, A inverse is adjoint of A 1 over determinant of A times adjoint of A. This follows from the adjoint determinant formula. Okay. Now, therefore, we know, as I wrote earlier, the vector x, the unknown vector x is nothing but A inverse of Ax, because this is identity, and this is Ax is B. So, this is A inverse B, but A inverse is 1 over determinant times adjoint of A, and these I have to multiply by the vector column vector B. And now I want to compare the jth component here. This is a column vector, this result is also column vector, and compare equating the jth component on both sides. What do we get? We get on this side xj, and what do we get on the other side? Of course, this is a constant, so it is 1 over determinant as it is, and the jth entry in this product, but the jth entry in the product is the jth row multiplied by this column vector B, corresponding entry multiply and then add up. So, therefore, this is sum running from k equal to 1 to n. The jth entry here is jth row is indexed by A tilde j first, but A tilde j is minus 1 power k plus j times, and then you have to, so that is capital AKJ times BK. This is precisely the jth row multiplied by the column vector B, that is this. And what is AKJ? AKJ is precisely this. So, this is precisely what we have written, this side is precisely 1 over determinant it is same thing, but this side this one is precisely. So, this 1 over determinant as it is delta E evaluated at C1 to Cj minus 1 and in B here Cn. That is because you see what was capital AKJ, that is EI here, but this B vector column vector. So, when you write it as in terms of the standard basis, there will be B case, and then when you expand it is this. So, that proves this thing. So, remember this, the most important I again stress that most important fact we use in all these computational rules is the alternating multilinear maps and their properties, and the main theorem of determinant theory, which says that given a basis there exist unique alternating multilinear maps. So, that delta E evaluated at the basis tuple is 1, and this gives a basis for the alternating forms. Now, let me briefly also now do it for the. So, I want to do it the determinants of a linear operator. So, given a linear operator f on a finite dimensional vector space V to V, k linear, and n is the dimension of V. And I want to associate for this f a scalar which one wants to call a determinant of f. This is a scalar. And okay, one can do this in two possible ways. One is take any basis V, V1 to Vn, k basis of V, and take the matrix of f with respect to this basis. So, matrix of f with respect to the basis V, that is this is our notation Aij. And remember, these Aij's are defined by the equations for j equal to 1 to n, f of j equal to summation Aij Vi. These equations, the coefficients of these n equations will give this matrix. This is a matrix Nk. And then define det f equal to determinant of this matrix. F. But now one has to justify that this definition does not depend on this basis V. So, this definition of det f is independent of the basis of the choice of the basis V. But for this we remember we analyze that if I change a basis, what happened to the matrix, and we know the matrix, if I have another basis V prime, then the matrix of f with respect to the basis V prime, this is a matrix B M V V F B inverse, where B is the transition matrix. B is the transition matrix from V prime to V of ID, and B is invertible, and therefore, this we have checked earlier. Now, when I apply determinant here, then I use the product formula, and therefore, and this determinant are inverses of each other and so on. So, that will prove that determinant m v v prime f equal to determinant m v v f. For this equality, we have used determinant of a b equal to determinant of a times determinant of b, and this is also then equal to determinant of b times determinant of a, because it is a field. So, I can multiply in either way. So, this is determinant of b times a. So, determinant a b is determinant b times a. So, therefore, this when I then b inverse will get cancelled and then you get this. So, product formula was very important if you do it this way. This is one possibility. Other possibility is do not do this way, do it abstractly, do it just by our philosophy, use alternating linear maps, alternating multilinear maps. So, let me do it that way, and then product formula also I will show you, it can be proved much easier, even much easier than the before. So, therefore, what I am trying to do is now I am trying to define determinant of a linear map directly without going through basis, choice of basis, and then write the matrix of f and so on. So, now the only thing we have given is f. F is an endomorphism, it is a linear operator on a finite dimensional vector space V, and let us call n to be the dimension. And I am going to use the main theorem of determinant, that is alt n v is one dimensional K vector space. Therefore, any non-zero form, any if delta is here and delta is non-zero, then this delta will be a basis. Any non-zero vector in a one dimensional vector space is a basis of that vector space. And we have also enough recipes or enough non-zero alternating n multilinear forms on V. In fact, each basis will give such. That was the main theorem of determinant functions. All right. So, now take any delta. So, a delta is V power n to k, it is a form n. So, it is alternating n multilinear form. Suppose this you take any alternating n multilinear form on V, and now I will use this given f and this delta to get a new alternating form. So, I am defining now a new alternating form which I will call it delta prime, which is again from Vn to k. And what do I need to define? I need to define it from any tuple x1 to xn. Where does it go? First, you apply f to these vectors, they are vectors in V. So, I will apply f first. So, that is I will consider f of x1, f of x2 and f of xn. This is now the new n tuple, and I apply this given delta to that. So, I will get a scalar. So, I have a map from Vn to k. I want to say it is alternating. That means what? If two components are equal, then it is 0. But if two components are equal here, two components are equal here, and therefore delta, because delta is alternating, it is 0. So, it is alternating, and I want to check that it is n multilinear, that means it is multilinear in each variable. That means if I change one of the component here, remaining components are fixed linearly, then this will linear, but then f is a linear map. So, therefore, in that component linearity will be clear. So, therefore, it is n multilinear form. So, therefore, if delta were non-zero, if I would have chosen this delta to be non-zero, then this new multilinear form should be a scalar multiple of this. So, therefore, if delta is non-zero, because this is a basis of this alternating and this is another element. So, this delta prime has to be equal to lambda times delta for some scalar lambda in K, and not only this lambda will be unique. So, moreover, I will write on the next page. Moreover, lambda is uniquely determined by delta prime, but delta prime which is uniquely determined by f. By f. So, this lambda is uniquely determined by f, and not only that, it does not depend on the also note, it also does not depend on the indexing set. I have used 1 to n, but one could have used arbitrary indexing set, does not depend on the index set, which I have used in this case, it is 1 to n. One could, if necessary, one could use different indexing set, but the cardinality is important. So, this lambda I will define then determinant of f is by definition that unique lambda. See, remember here the only thing I have used that is if I have one dimensional vector space, then any non-zero vector is a basis of that. That means every other vector is a unique scalar multiple of this non-zero given non-zero vector. This is the only fact I have used. So, this way we have defined determinant of a linear operator directly without going through any basis. Okay, so, therefore, the definition of the determinant, so when you plug it in there, therefore, we get like this. So, delta of, so this one delta of, so we get a formula delta not delta, determinant of or delta of. So, delta of f of x1 to xn this is equal to determinant of f times delta of x1 to xn. This delta was given to us in alt nv non-zero. So, we have given this, and this was a new delta prime, no, this was. So, therefore, when you say delta prime equal to lambda times delta, that means on any tuple they are equal. So, when you evaluate this equation on the tuple x1 to xn, you precisely get this, and this is true for every x1 to xn in v power n. This is how the determinant is defined. So, this is called determinant of f, is called the determinant of the linear map, the linear operator f. And now I will show you quickly that why this definition is quicker than the earlier definition. You see, it is always better to do it coordinate free. This is a coordinate free definition. The earlier definition was using coordinate. Coordinate means choosing a basis. Okay, so let us quickly show you. Let me quickly show you that the two things I want to show you. First of all, it should also match with the earlier definition. So I want to also show you quickly. One, I want to show you determinant of F is nothing but determinant of the matrix of F with respect to any basis. This also we have to show. And secondly, I will show you the product formula, and secondly I will show you determinant of F compose G is same as determinant F times determinant G for every F G linear operators on V. Okay, so proof. So to prove one, I have given a basis V, V1 to Vn, K basis of V. Then as I said, the matrix of F with respect to this basis is the matrix Aij, where Aij's are defined by these equations: J equal to 1 to n summation F of Vj equal to summation over I 1 to n Aij Vi. Then okay, and what do we want to prove? We want to prove this determinant equal to this. Remember, this determinant is defined by, I will just show, this determinant is defined by what happens? It got stuck. Guru, it got stuck.
It's stuck. Yes, but you need to save this, right?
Yeah, we need to say, but they will have same.
Sir, it is on the space, that's why.
Is it because of this?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Cancel.
Now try.
Now it's
Oh,
okay.
now it's working. Okay. You can put it here. Okay. Shall I continue? Okay. So remember, determinant of F, I just wanted to show this. Determinant of F is this, it's connected by this formula. So any non-zero alternating form, when I plug it in the tuple f of x1 to xn, then you get determinant f times delta of x1 to xn. So that is what I am going to use. So we are here. So I have to compute what is, and I instead of taking arbitrary non-zero alternating n multilinear form, I will take the one which corresponds to this basis. That means I am going to take delta V, that we know it exists and it is a unique with the property that when I evaluate this on the basis V1 to Vn, you get 1. So, therefore, determinant of f is equal to delta v evaluated at f of x1 to xn, v1 to vn. Not determinant of f equal to this, that we compute this by using this. This is determinant of f times delta v evaluated at v1 to vn. But this is 1, therefore, this is determinant of f. So, determinant of f is the value of delta v on the tuple f of v1 to vn, and now I will substitute f of v1 equal to from this equation, f of v2 from this equation, and so on. So, therefore, determinant of f, which is equal to delta v of f of v1 to f of vn, this is same as delta v, the first component is v1. So, that is summation I1 from 1 to n, a I1 1 vi1 and so on, summation in 1 to n. This we have done earlier also, such a calculation, in n v in, and this when you use the alternating multilinearity of delta v, you will get determinant of the matrix Aij. That is how we have defined the determinant of an arbitrary matrix. So, that proves these two, and this is determinant of M V V F. So, this shows that this new definition matches with the earlier definition with respect to the basis V. Now, to prove the product formula, what do you have to prove? So, to prove 2, you have to prove that if I have given any non-zero delta in alt NV non-zero, then how is the determinant of the product related? So, delta of, when I apply for any tuple x1 to xn, if I apply f composite g on x1 etc., f composite g on xn, this what comes out is the determinant of f compose g, delta of x1 to xn. This is true for all tuples x1 to xn in V power n. This is a definition, new definition we propose, that given any non-zero delta of, apply the linear map first, and then what scalar comes out is this. Now, I want to compute this in a different way. I first want to do this first. So, this is by definition delta of f of g of x1, f of g of xn. This is same as I will take out f first. When I want to take out f first, that means I have to take out the determinant. So, this is determinant of f times delta evaluated at g of x1, g of xn, and now I will take out g. So, when I want to take out g, the determinant of g will come out. So, this is equal to det f times det g times delta evaluated at the tuple x1 to xn, and this is true for all x1 to xn. But now you see, here it is this constant and the other side it is this constant, and we have noted the constants are unique, one dimensional vector space constants are unique, therefore, this equal to this. So, that proves the product formula, So, this way is one can avoid the using basis. So, I would stop here, we will continue next time.